Welcome to another episode of the BiGG Umbrella Podcast. That's big with 2 G's. I'm going to repeat that. That's big with 2 G's, the BiGG Umbrella Podcast. And we got motherfucking Trill bands in the building. What's going on?
Yo, I'm excited to be here, man. I appreciate you interviewing me and stuff.
Like I was even saying earlier, I always tell everybody, like, I appreciate you giving us the time to even do this shit because, like I always say, you ain't got to do this shit at all. So the fact that you came on was already a blessing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And plus, we're trying to highlight Daygo, so that's obviously going to have us go off of you, Daygo. So what part of Daygo you from?
I moved around a lot when I was younger and stuff, but I was raised in Lemon Grove for a little. Then I moved to Chula Vista for a couple months, for like, I think a couple months to a year. And then I really like grew up like in La Mesa. And that's why I really like call myself where I'm from, La Mesa for sure.
Okay.
So I was everywhere but La Mesa.
Yeah,
100%.
my shit, like I really grew up in South Bay. So like I grew up in like San Isidro, like down way all the way down there, like from I would say like 13 to early 20s. I was in South Bay for sure. Like so that's why I know I grew up around a whole bunch of Mexicans. So like I'm like yeah, and I'm comfortable around that shit. So it ain't nothing to me. So me getting around that type of culture was everything. So it was cool for me. You said you grew up mostly in Lemon Grove.
La Mesa.
La Mesa, my fault. Yeah, La Mesa. You grew up with siblings?
No, I actually grew up by Helix Charter High School.
No, siblings, like you only child?
Oh, shoot, my bad. Siblings, yeah, I have an older and younger brother. My younger brother right now, he's 10, and my older brother, he's 23.
So you're the middle child. How old are you?
I'm 20.
And what you experienced at being the middle child, was you the one that was a favorite, or because like usually it's usually the middle one is probably left off, and the younger one or the older one is the more loved or not loved. Where was you at in that?
To be honest, I was the loved one. I was the loved one in the sense of just because my older brother, he's really hard-headed, so he used to argue with my mom. I grew up with a single mom and stuff, so he used to argue with her a lot, and I really wouldn't. I really respect her,
right?
And have nothing but the utmost. So shout out, Mom, I love you.
I even seen a couple things on your page, like you like Mama, they listening now. So it's like definitely that's a big shout out to your moms.
100%. She's someone that when I started making music, she didn't fully see the vision, but she never shied away from telling me like, "Hey, you're gonna do it, keep going."
Right. So she was always there to support you.
So that's something that I really like am happy for. I'm grateful for, because I know a lot of people in the come up stories, like there was a lot of family members that hate, and I did have that as well. But like all I need is my mom to care about me, and that's really it.
Right, because look at you now, shit. Mama, they listening now. Exactly
they
like
listen.
You just said. So there the fuck you go, real talk. And through this, where was your pops?
He left when I was around like 11, and he came in and out, and I don't see him much often in the last couple of years. So he's out the picture for sure. But the only thing is, funniest thing is he used to play trumpet for a mariachi band.
Oh damn! So he was already into music too.
So remember when I was like starting to make beats and stuff, he heard about it through my mom and stuff. So he tried to reach out and tell me like, "Hey, keep making the music and stuff." So he like tried to get in the picture. But me personally, I was just I have this tunnel vision. I have the tunnel vision that I just truly see where this can take me, and he's not in the picture. So I don't really like bring him up as much as
No, and that's nothing, anything like that. Like I always tell people, if it's something we ain't gonna touch, then we gonna just keep that pushing. Yeah, but with that, and then with him, then when did you even get into making beats?
Really, it was like my junior year of high school. Before that, I was trying to rap, but everybody made fun of me, and I was like, shoot, let me try to engineer. And I engineered out my mom's like bedroom and stuff because like my room didn't fit because I used to live with my 2 other brothers. Yeah, so I used to have it in my mom's bedroom, my little setup. But and I'll bring close people. But my mom was just like tripping about random people entering. And I don't bug her for that. I don't bug her for that because that makes sense.
Right.
But
like, who the fuck is all these motherfuckers coming in here?
And I was like, there's rappers, Mom. I'm recording them. And I used to record them for like $20 an hour or something like that.
Oh, so you was already trying to make plays like, okay, yeah, I do this, but you're going to have to slide me something.
You guys, like I was trying to like make money off this.
And that was you in you said freshman year?
Sophomore year.
Oh, damn.
Closer to, sophomore actually, like $20 or something like that.
Damn, hey, you was already thinking with a business mindset because most youngsters ain't even thinking about making the money shit.
It's just one of those things that I see my mom like struggle to pay the rent and struggle to pay for stuff. So I really wanted I was hungry for money, like as like any other person would, but like I was really making sure that like, and I was really like believing that the fact that in this like generation we are now, there's ways to make money, there's no excuses to a certain degree. Right. That like if you have an iPhone, you have like setup, you have like any equipment to any, and at that time I only had like $100 like mic or something. Yeah. And that like I recycled bottles, bro. Like I used to like play soccer and then pick up the bottles after while everybody's watching and put that shit in my bag and run home. Then
you was for real about it.
I was really trying to make money for sure. And that's what got me into making beats, you know, seeing everybody like with cars and stuff like that. I liked music and I used to play soccer. So the transition to soccer to music was kind of like flawlessly, like just because I had a vision like I was gonna go pro in soccer.
And what deterred you from the soccer?
I just wasn't getting play time. I was on the bench all the time.
So it's like I'm really not. They ain't really fuck with me on the soccer shit. So it's like, okay, I got something else though.
And then right after that, right after I quit soccer, and I also like here soccer in the States is very expensive to like maintain like a kid to play through club and stuff like that. It's like $1,000, $2,000 a season or something like that.
Like that, huh? See, I never knew the price ranges on shit like that.
So there's a lot of kids out there that are very talented but just don't have the funds to do it. And they could be the next Messi, next Ronaldo, but they just don't have that opportunity to get that spotlight. They can't pay for that spotlight. So I knew that I was one of those kids that I wasn't super talented or anything, but I just knew that like I wasn't gonna get that chance for a spotlight. So that's what turned me to music. And also the reason why I really turned into music is like I really thought about it. I was like, I can't, what's something I can't live without every day, you know? Yeah. I like if it wasn't soccer, it was gotta be something else, right?
Yeah, and it should live with you forever. Like all the shit that you produce and everything you did, like that should have lived with you forever.
That legacy is everything to me.
Yeah.
For sure.
And with you then transitioning to the music, what was even before that, you said you started rapping. Like what was you even rapping about when you first even came out?
It was some like little pump shit, you know? Because I'm a huge fan of that SoundCloud era, you know how like when people go to high school, there's that era of music that was around that they listen to, you know? So I have an older homie that grew up listening to Wiz Khalifa in high school. He was in that era. So I used to listen to Wiz Khalifa because of him and stuff like that. But when I entered high school, it was that SoundCloud era that was very like mainstream. So Lil Pump, Smoke Perp, Ugly God, all these SoundCloud rappers were like really like the influence for me because it's kind of like the idea, like no shame to them at all, but it was like if they can make it, I can make it, you know?
Right.
If people
is that shade when somebody say they're a SoundCloud rapper?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't think so either, but I've always heard like, oh, I'm not no just SoundCloud rapper, but I mean you rapping.
Did Post start on SoundCloud?
Post started on SoundCloud, yeah. And then soon after you got signed.
And then look at that. That's what I'm saying. So it's like being a SoundCloud rapper. I mean, what's really the difference from you then rapping on something else, like a different platform? Like I guess it's the platform what they call, but whatever. But now you were saying like you was kind of inspired by that era.
100%, because that music was just so like influential to me. You know, just like crazy beats, the crazy rap flows. You know, the very creative songs that came out of it, like Lil Yachty, you know, and a lot of the rappers that came out of it are still now my favorite rappers to this day. And it's just one of those things that was so influential to me that I wanted to try music. Right. You know, is the idea that these people aren't creating like hits from their house or creating hits overnight.
Right.
And hearing these stories of like X recording at his house with like beats and stuff. So I just wanted to, you know, I wanted to like try.
Right. You wanted to emulate that same thing. It's like, yo, like you said, I see they doing like shit. I can do this shit. They doing it from home. Like shit, I got a couple of things I could do at home. So then when you first started out with the rapping, they wasn't feeling your shit.
Fucks no, I was getting bullied like crazy, bro. Like it hurt.
They was mad like that?
100%. It hurt. Like I still take that shit personal to this day.
But what the fuck is they so mad about you rapping about?
Shit was trash.
But even then, so it's like, but why you gonna like want to fight me or like, you know, talk all this weird shit because you didn't like my music?
You know how kids in high school are, you know.
So it was like that.
It was like that for sure. And I wasn't like I don't like using like this term, but like I wasn't cool, you know. I was just like that kid that played soccer, you know. So it's something like that, but it's just one of those things where even though like it hurt and stuff, I just knew in my heart, my soul, like, you know, let me keep trying, you know, like there's something's got to happen, you know?
Yeah. So
then after that, I tried to engineer. And then soon after, the next step was like, you know, let me try to make beats. And I just remember my first beat was super trash, but I just loved making it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to keep on going. And throughout my junior and senior year, I was continuing to make beats, put them up on YouTube on Type Beats, as well as put them on my platform on BeatStars, which is like my website that I can sell beats on.
And that's right now?
Yeah, okay. It's still on there right now. I kind of switched more into like trying to get into the industry more. So I don't really focus on YouTube like that. But at that time, that was like my way to get my name out there. Right. And then when I started making beats, I think February 2019. And soon after, I think 3 months after, I made my first check off the music. I got $100 Cash App.
And who was the first track with? If you could even remember. I mean, because I'm like you said, I'm sure you done fucking tons. So You don't remember the name, whatever the fuck, that's straight.
I'm gonna try to find it. I'm gonna try to find it for sure.
Oh, you know,
because I gotta
sure.
respect him because he's the first one that put money in my pocket off this music.
Yeah.
Off the beats. And I just remember showing my mom, hey, I just made $100 off of it. And she was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And the first thing I did, I said, I told my brother, and he took me straight to Guitar Center. I bought this 25 key piano. Mm-hmm. And I put it back to the business, you know?
Yeah.
Like I was like, let me see how far I could go.
Yeah.
And then soon after I kept making more checks, kept putting stuff on YouTube. And then my biggest breakthrough was really when I started producing for Hot Boy.
Oh, damn. Mm-hmm. And and how did they even find you?
Funniest note, shout out my brother Brian Barone back in the city. You know, shout out him because he's a really good friend of mine. He's my older brother's friend, but I grew up around with him too. Right. So he's like my homie. He put me on Hot Boy. He's that person that listens to underground music, you know, right. before they blow up. Right. And before he used to put me on rappers, but like I wasn't making beats or anything like that. So I was just like, oh, this is a cool rapper to listen to. But this time it was a real life play. He put me on Hot Boy and he said you should send him beats. So then one day Hot Boy posted his beat email. My homie sent it to me. And from there I was like, you know what, let me get back on the computer, email him some beats and let's see what happens. And from there I got my first song with Hot Boy. Yeah. Then Hot Boy texted me soon after to tell him, and he texted me, hey bro, can you send me more beats? I was like, of course. So then I built that relationship. At the time, Hot Boy had 40,000 followers. He was very small compared to how big he is now. So I caught him really early in his career. Yeah. And then that's how I built that relationship with him because I just caught him early.
Right. And with you have then built that relationship, is that still solid to this day?
100%. Free Hot Boy for sure. Still close with him, his team, his the rappers that he works with, you know, 100%. That relationship has grown ever since, for sure. That's
hella. And I always say, like, sometimes relationships is even bigger than money because it's like them relationships that take you somewhere a check ain't gonna get you. Mm-hmm. Like whoever known it, who even dropped, like, yo, your brother that told you even about that was a relationship you had, and he was able to plug you, and now look at it now.
Everything happens for a reason, 100%.
Yeah. So then then you going with Hot Boy, that was your first one. What was life like even after that?
I was still the same person, and the checks didn't come till soon after. I mean, not soon after, like far after, because in this music game you get paid late. Like, right. As producers, we get paid late. So it's funny because looking back now, I was the only one in school knowing about Hot Boy.
That's fucking crazy.
And then
like when you be telling these stories, that'd be the funniest shit. Because then you really be like, oh shit. Now I'm telling you, I'm like, yo, when I think about it, I was the only motherfucker who even knew about that nigga in there, real shit. So that's crazy. But now you were saying
100%. I showed my friends and stuff. They're like, oh, he's a cool rapper because my friends knew about it, and some people knew that I made beats, but not a lot of people. Yeah. Until like the day that I pulled up to like school, like on my laptop, and I was making beats in class. But then people were still making fun of me at that time because I was just another type beat producer, you know. So
the first day they was talking shit when you rapping, and still talking shit while you making beats. Yeah. So then now you actually getting some treading some traction. They still talking shit.
They're still talking shit. And at the time, like not anymore, but at the time, like, you know, like how do I say it? Breaks like sticks and stones may break my bones, but like words
never hurt me.
Cap as fuck. Like that shit hurt. Like right. It really did. I forgot to ask, can I cuss?
Yeah, no, bro. That's I told you, bro.
That shit fucking hurt. Like, yeah, bro. It hurt like a bitch. But I just knew that this music shit was meant for me for some reason, like for some divine like reasoning. Like I just felt like I had to keep going. So producing early for Hot Boy, that soon led for my manager. When I met my manager, and I'm managed by St. Paul. Shout out St. Paul from 100K. He's been managing me now for 3 years. We're about to hit 3 years this month, and he's been managing me ever since. And that happened soon after the Hot Boy.
What's the benefits of having a manager as opposed to if you just met people and was like, I'm gonna just do the solo?
To be honest, the benefits really on the business side are someone to represent you. Because at that time, I had no clue how this industry worked, how to get paid, anything like that. So he was my representation. Right. So when I had to get paid for the Hot Boy songs, he was talking for me. And me, like, truth be told, I'm a timid person. I'm not like the type to really go.
You're not gonna be like, yo, what's up with that beat? I need that money on that bread, like on the back end, what we talking about type of shit.
At that time, so like he was like, you know, my representation. Right. He's also someone that managed me and helps me level up to the next part of my career. Because soon after I signed to him, he told me, when you're ready to go to Miami, I'm gonna get you that session with Hot Boy. So then when I flew myself to Miami, my big homie, because I was still 17 at the time, so I couldn't go on the airplane by myself.
This is 17 you was doing this?
I was 17, when I first started working with Hot Boy, senior year in high school.
Damn.
And then my manager flew out to Miami. I met my manager in person. And then from that, he took me to a bunch of studios and showed me how it works out there in Miami. And I met a bunch of rappers through that. And I met Hot Boy, and that's where I had my first session. I really met him. And from there, like, our relationship really grew. Because it's like working with someone online is obviously like a great thing, because you meet someone that you would have never met in a million years before the internet. But meeting someone in person, that's a different ballgame.
Yeah, because you get to really get the vibe of somebody, like how they treat you and like how they talk, and like you, instead of you just reading some shit, it's a whole different. Like you said, like you can really get a vibe for him when you actually went, and you flew all the way out to goddamn Miami to go do this. So it's like that was something big as well, and you only 17 doing it.
No, looking back at it now, it's pretty crazy. Looking back at it, but at the time I was just like, I gotta take a risk. I gotta take a risk. Like, like. What
was your mom saying?
My mom's funniest thing is she was supporting all the way, because then once like the first song that actually came out with Hot Boy was Hot Boy featuring Rilo Rodriguez. It's called Sickle Cell. It's out on YouTube right now. I think it stands at 1.9 million.
God damn.
But that was my first single that I ever like produced, and it was out. And funniest thing is, like, I showed my mom this, and she's like, "Oh wait, that's the beat that you made?" And I was like, "Yeah, I made it the other day when you're working and shit." And
I was like, "I made it the other day."
And then she was like, "Oh shoot, keep going. When does the money come?" She's like, "There's got to be money in the streams." And I was like, "I'm gonna get back to you on that, because I'm not even sure."
I don't know yet.
And then she grew up in Mexico and stuff, and then she crossed when she had me. So like, it's just one of those things where she's not even up to date in like today's society. So. She wasn't sure about that. But then I remember telling her that I'm gonna get a manager. And she was skeptical at first, but she was like,
you always hear the stories about the manager, how he fucked you over. He signed me and said, I'm gonna get you this, but really he got all this on the back end type. So your mom was kind of nervous, and you're young at this point, so she like, I don't want nobody taking advantage of my son type shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like everything worked out, thank God. Everything worked out. But Hot Boy was really the one that got me like the foot in the industry, as well as my managers. Shout out St. Paul once again. Yeah,
definitely. And like I was saying, like that's, so obviously that's the benefits. You have somebody actually representing you. And like you were saying, it's harder for producers, like you get paid way late. Is it paid through how much the song is played, or how does that even work out for producers who are trying to adapt to this?
For sure. This for all the producers out there that have like any questions about this, because I want to go really in depth with this. Is a great question, just because I didn't know.
Right. Know? And now this is something that's like, yo, if y'all really are about the shit, like I'm trying to tell you now, this is how you probably should move.
Exactly. So there's like two questions. Like there's a first question: is the rapper signed to a label or not? If he's not, everything's gonna be very, very not as like business like. It might be just, hey, here's $100 for a beat, and I'm gonna just run with it, or something like that. If they're not signed, once someone's signed though to any major label, it can be small or big. That's where paperwork's involved and stuff like that. And the paperwork includes a producer agreement that's sent from the label to you. And on like business terms, it's like a work for hire. They pay you for the beat, and then they run off with it, and they do what they got to do. But what they do is three things. They give you points on the master, and the usual is 3 points if you produce it yourself, and however many producers like you have with the beat. So if it's two producers, you and someone else, it's 1.5, and that's the master. That's how much of the master you own.
And so how many points in total are in the master?
100.
Okay, so, and the producer, if it's two of y'all get 1.5, but if it's just one, the producer always get 3 points from the master. Yeah,
that's like the usual. If you're a really big producer, you could push for 4 or 5, but usually it's like 3. But where you really collect the checks are the publishing and the advance. The advance is the money they give you up front so that you can use the beat. So it all depends on your brand, how big you are and what you've done. And that could give you the leverage to ask for more money. But at the time I had like no placements or anything. So the Hot Boy checks were like 500, something like that.
Right.
For like a beat from me, like back in 2020, 500 for a beat. And that's the advance. But obviously nowadays I get it. I charge way more because I'm a bigger producer since I was then. So it all depends on where you are in your career.
Right.
But the publishing is 50%. With the producer and 50% with the artist. And depends on how many producers you have.
Oh, that's dope though. Like with you being the producer, like that's just y'all two thing right there. So that's a good, and so that's outside of the master points. Yeah,
that's outside the master. It's 3 different categories. The masters, which you get like 3 points.
Right.
The advance, which is whatever number they offer you and whatever you accept. Right. And then the publishing, which is always going to be 50% depending on how many producers are on the beat. So if it's me and someone else, we have to divide that on between us. But usually it's even, you know.
Right.
Usually I'm always an even person, you know.
Yeah.
I always make sure it's even, so we both get paid no matter how much work I do or how much work you do.
Right.
And then the artist, that's their 50%. They mess around with it however they have to.
Right.
We have to get a feature or anything like that. But the publishing is what feeds you if the song blows up, you know. So a song that I produced for Hot Boy is called "They Don't Know." It came out in 2020. It got I think 4 million plays on Spotify.
Yeah.
Couple million on SoundCloud, couple million on Apple Music, million on YouTube, couple million on YouTube.
All different streams of revenue.
And that's my publishing check. So I still get paid to this day for those songs. And I see my little check and I'm like, oh shoot, this song.
Damn.
I still get paid to this day. The They Don't Know check helped me buy my first car. Like that's how like shit. Like
they don't know.
They don't know.
Exactly.
They don't know.
That's crazy. Don't know that, and nobody ever like broke this down. That's pretty dope. So it'd be a different check from YouTube, a different one from Spotify, or is that all just a streaming check?
It's actually all a streaming check, but there's two different types of royalties to get: mechanical and performance. Performance and things that's played out loud. That also includes Spotify and stuff. And mechanicals is also but performance also includes live performances, concerts, played overseas. And
the money keep going as long as the song, y'all. Yeah. If y'all keep running the song up for 10 plus years, a check will continue to come in.
I'm gonna get those checks that I die. But the only question I don't know is like, what happens after I die? Like,
right.
Like that's the only thing
because I mean, you still produce that shit. So now does that money go to selected whoever I have, my family, my daughter, my son, or whatever it is? Like, do we have to? I guess maybe there's some. Maybe that's your next shit you're gonna have to talk about, because it's like, is there some contract we need to talk about? If I pass away, this is now going to.
That's the one thing. Yeah, I truly don't know. I gotta ask someone for that for sure. But from what I know, yeah, I still get paid those. But how I get paid those is through a performance society. That's, you can either sign up for ASCAP or BMI. ASCAP's like a $80 fee or something like that, or $150, and BMI is the free one. So I signed up with BMI, and a bunch of famous it's just a company that collects the checks and pays you out.
So if they have those two and one is free, why even go with the other one?
The other one pays you monthly. BMI pays you every 3 months.
Okay, there you go.
So I signed up with BMI at the time because I just wanted to get my records out there, you know, make sure that my name's in the records and stuff. And also you have to collect your mechanicals because the BMI and ASCAP only collect performance. So there's an online website called Songtrust that's $100 to sign up. But I forgot the discount code. I'm gonna try to like find it real quick because that shit knocks off like $20. Yeah. So it was like 80. But that collects your mechanicals as well. And you put all the songs that you did on Songtrust, and that pays you every 3 months as well. So
that's like keeping track of that.
I don't have that anymore. I signed a deal. I signed a pub admin with Create Music Group. They're taking care of me, so they pay me monthly and stuff. But
dang, like you for real official.
100%. Yeah. Just because it got in the last 2 years, especially with the Dirk song, like that's what's really like made this like a truly living business, you know? Like I gotta do tax write-offs. Like I gotta do taxes in a month off this music shit. Yeah. So I gotta really, I'm really about the business as much as I am about the music. You know, I love the music and everything, but I want to make sure like
you taken care of.
I'm taking care of, because like my mom like makes sure, you know, like once I showed my mom like my first big check, and that was off the Dirk song. Yeah. I remember showing her that, and she was like, oh shit, like you could really,
it's for real.
It's for real. It's not a game, you know, like, and that check like really like, she was like telling me, like she sent me a voice message, and she said, like, I didn't see the vision back then, you know, but I just knew like you were always grinding. So it's crazy to see this now, you know, just keep going. Because the big thing for her was when I dropped out of school. I went to college for 1 year. I went for marketing, but I dropped out soon after.
And what made you drop out?
The music just like started picking up. I started going to Miami a couple times. Yeah. I was getting placements. I was collecting little checks, like $1,000 here and there. Yeah. From like songs that I produced, and collecting those publishing checks, but nothing major, but some checks here and there, and showing that to my mom. And just, I convinced my mom, like, I'm about to drop out because I really feel like I want to do this music stuff. School's not for me. And the one thing I want to talk about school is that, to be honest, I wanted to be a teacher. Like I really, 100%. I love teaching people, and I love like explaining stuff, as you can tell. Like,
and what did you even want to teach?
I wanted to teach either math or history. Those
crazy.
Like, those two really stuck with me. But math, because you know I love numbers, and history just always stuck with me. You know, that's like the only class really I got an A in or some shit. Yeah, just because I really paid attention. It was interesting. But like world history or U.S. history, anything like that. But I wanted to be a teacher, but like I just like a dream was a teacher, but like a bigger dream was the music. You know, so I wanted to follow the bigger dream for sure.
And I mean, in a way, you still are teaching. You're just not teaching math and fucking history right now. Now you're just teaching a different business side of things. So, I mean, you're still pursuing that dream.
100%. I see it like that too. Like at times where like when I teach, like anybody DMs me like any questions about this music stuff, I always tell them, or anybody joins my Instagram live, like they have a question, I'll more than happy to explain that, because people were like that in my career. When I had a question, they explained it to me. I'm never gonna like gatekeep like information, you know. I always find that silly. Like anybody that gatekeeps like information, that shit's silly.
For what? And like you just said, and then that also probably have you remember when you coming up and how they was trying to treat you on some weird shit. It's like, yo, like I don't want that for whoever is tuning in on my channel. I want y'all to show, like I want to show you I'm real. Like I'm gonna help you. I'm not gonna be on the bullshit. No,
100% not. I just truly like, I want to see people win, you know. I want to see people win, and if it's off my information, that's even great, you know. That's even better. But yeah, that's the
And are you building a team around you?
Slowly but surely. I got my manager for 3 years. I just got my lawyer last year.
Oh shit.
My lawyer's been helping me out, getting me paid, stuff like that, on top of my manager. And just making sure that like I'm working with different producers, you know, building people that could really like make sure that I'm just in a position to win, you know? So like I just want everybody around me, as well as my friends. You know, I consider that my team as well. Yeah. Because it's just one of those things that like I know in my like heart and soul that everybody around me just has good intentions, you know? Yeah. They just want to see me win.
That's what's up. And that's always good to have them good vibes around you, because good energy, that shit is contagious. So you definitely want that shit around you. Like you said, you more like kind of introvert, I guess you would say. So what's it like when you get around like big celebs and shit? You still keep that same energy, or that kind of come out and you just be like, oh man, it's so good to like.
To be honest, I get starstruck a lot. A lot of the people that I met through this industry, like when it's someone that I really seen on like TV, on YouTube, you know, and someone that I really look up to, and meeting them in person and working with them, that's like times in my like career that I get like starstruck. And I am introverted for sure, but like I know when to speak, I know like not to speak. The one thing I did also like pick up from my father is that that motherfucker knew how to talk, you know. I feel like that's a superpower in its own. Like the idea, like you could talk to people, you know. You can make relationships, build relationships and stuff. He was someone that like, even as a kid, I just like
caught on to that.
I caught on to that, like this motherfucker could talk. And knowing that like that's like my dad, it just clicked in. Like when I'm in these rooms with celebrities and this very important people, this is what I picked up from you. The idea that closed mouths don't get fed, you know. So if I have to speak up, like Hot Boy, you know, like when I pulled up on Hot Boy, I told him, hey man, can I show you some beats? He was like, yeah, of course, bro, play them.
Yeah, because if you would have just got there and just kind of sit in the pocket, like he wouldn't have been like, oh, show me some beats. Or maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. Like you just wouldn't know what would have happened if you didn't step up and be like, y'all got some beats, you want to hear them? Oh, hell yeah, I want to hear them. I mean, that's what you're here for.
Like I did not fly from San Diego to Miami just so I could like stay quiet in the room, you know? And there's been a lot of moments like that in my career where I had to speak up. But like I never had a problem speaking up just because I came so far, I can't stop now, you know?
Exactly. Like you said, I didn't come all the way from out here just to not say shit. So, and you said like you had a lot of the moments where you came across like producers or stars, and what was one of them, or maybe not your top, whatever it is, like what was a moment for you that kind of stuck with you when you met this producer or artist or whoever the case may be, that you was kind of like, damn, this is real?
It actually just happened last month. Funny enough, I met Murda Beats.
Oh shit!
It was up in LA. My manager got me into this Grammy.
I was about to say, it was at that Grammy thing that you was at.
The first one was like this Platinum Producer Council panel, and then they were like speaking on stuff. But before it was like just everybody walking around, and Murda Beats was there in the corner. Funniest thing though is I've been working with Murda Beats online for the last year, and I don't really tell anybody this because I just keep it, you know, a personal connection that I have, personal relationship. But it's just one of those things that I saw him in person, and we FaceTime before, and he was there in the corner by himself, and I could, you know, like stay quiet or, you know,
going like, yo, what's happening, bro? Like now we finally right here.
And that's exactly what I did. I went up to him, hey bro, I don't know if you remember me, but we work. He's like, yeah, bro, Trill Bands, right? I was like, oh shit.
Oh shit, you fucking do remember.
My heart dropped. It really did. And the funniest thing is he told his producer, Trans 1500, he told him, hey, this Trill Bands, he's an upcoming producer. He's dope. He's coming from San Diego and stuff.
And you hearing that is like, bro, he's speaking on my name.
Shit changed my life. And this just happened last month.
Yeah.
And then he just told me keep going and keep sending me stuff and let's keep working. And that really was like a moment that I was super starstruck. Like I was like, my heart dropped for real. I was just really shocked at the fact that this dude I look up to, like, that's someone I really do look up to. Like, I got a razor blade just because he has a razor blade, you know? Like, I make these type of beats just because he made those type of beats. Like, someone that I used to watch all his interviews and stuff telling me that I'm a dope producer, like, that's just crazy to me. So moments like that, and I had other moments like that too with other producers.
That was just one that like really stuck with you. Yeah. And that's hella dope. And the fact that you could even talk about, like you said, that made my heart drop. I love when somebody can get on there and really be like, yo, this is how I was fucking for real feeling when like this, like when this situation type happened. So like, that's even big that you could remember that and the feeling that you had when you met him. Now, even you got a plaque out there. Yeah. What the hell is that like? Because I don't know nobody with a plaque. At least unless I just wasn't shown it or something. What's that even like? It's
funny because I actually got 3 plaques. 2 plaques are here, and one is our one plaque that I have is for Babyface Ray on his album. It's at the other studio that we have. So we have like plaques at each studio and stuff. The plaques are amazing because it's like a trophy. You know? It's a trophy. Like I told you, I used to be benching soccer. So finally I get a trophy for myself, you know?
And a couple
for sure. They're super excited to like get, you know, 100%. And it's just one of those things that I've always dreamt about it as well. I used to dream about like getting a Billboard #1 plaque, you know, like, and it used to be so vivid, these dreams. And when I wake up, I used to wake up mad as fuck. I was like, damn, that's just a dream.
Right. I was just dreaming. And
now like they're physically there, you know, and nowadays I don't really look at it as much as like when I first got them because I'm on to the next, you know, like, like it's cool to look at them for sure, but I'm on to the next, you know? But it's just one of those things I am like happy for those plaques for sure. And then like showing my mom these plaques because my mom has no clue, like, and in my city where I'm from, San Diego, like how we're from, plaques aren't as common as LA or Miami, you know?
Right.
So to be able to say I own this Billboard #1 plaque, that's my name on it, you know? Someone could rob that shit, but that shit got my name on it. I could order another one. You can't ever type shit. Not you, but you know what I mean? Like someone robbed it.
I didn't take it like that. No, definitely. I didn't take it like that. Like you said, like you speaking, if somebody was to steal my shit, it's like whoever y'all stole that, like I could just get another one. And the one you stole still got my name on it. So I mean, it ain't really shit.
So it's just one of those things. It's super dope for sure. It's always been a dream and getting them for sure, but you know, want to stack up more for sure.
What keeps the hustle? Like what keeps you going to what, like you just said, now I'm looking on to the next, like what keeps that drive going?
I've always been like a dreamer. Like I always dreamt big. Like nothing was ever too like big for me for some reason. So when I was playing soccer, I always dreamt of going pro.
So it was never out of reach.
It was never out of reach. It was like very possible because I always see like the next person or someone in my city that went pro. Like if they could do it, I could do it too.
Right.
We're both human. Like what's the difference, you know? And I'm a big believer of God, you know? That's why I got like the Jesus piece and the cross. I make sure like God's with me at all times. I pray a lot, you know? That's something I really want to make sure I speak on when I'm on this podcast because God is really the main reason I'm here. I never shy away from talking about God just because I know for a fact that knowing that plaques are not as common here, and I'm able to say that I own a couple, is crazy. But I know damn well that God is the reason why I got
Without him, it would have been nothing possible.
Exactly.
Oh no, and I'm on the same shit with you like that. So the fact that you even brought that up, like, because that's like for me the same shit. I'm like, bro, without God, like, hey, none of this shit gonna be happening. You ain't gonna wake up in the next morning type shit. So I mean, like, you always got to be thankful for that type of shit all the time.
100%.
We was kind of touching on your good times. What was your worst like times as coming up as a producer?
There's a lot of worse times, not gonna lie, but like one that really sticks out was
because this is something you could look back on. This was the worst time, and then you looking back now today, it's like, but I got through that.
Shit, fuck it, I'm gonna speak on it. I was with Murder Beats. We worked on this beat, and it was actually supposed to be on Roddy Ricch's first tape.
Okay,
Live Life Fast, or not first tape. The album, the second album, Live Life Fast was supposed to be on there, and we were getting ready to sign the paperwork, and I was excited, and I was telling everybody. I was telling my mom, my homies, tell everybody at work. I used to work at Target, so I used to tell everybody like, hey, bro.
Damn, and that's crazy, bro. You at Target, and you was like, I mean, shit, you could really say this is a famous producer. Like, he's like, motherfuckers looking to this nigga for shit, but niggas don't even know that he's really right here at Target doing this shit.
No, I was so funny because like nobody at Target knew. Like I kept this so low key, like nobody knew. So they would be like, "Do you have social media?" And I have no personal. So everything's business. So everything I have, like I don't have no Snapchat, Instagram. That's Trill Band.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Nah, I don't have social media," but I truly do.
Right. It was like it's business.
It's business, you know. So me personally, I don't, but business for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was working at Target and I get cut from the album, and I found out I got cut like 2 days before, and it like my heart dropped because I thought that was gonna be my big break, you know.
Right.
My big single. And at the time I had songs with Hot Boy that were big, but a song with Roddy Ricch was going to take me to the next level for sure.
Right.
And I just remember being like so like hurt, you know, for sure.
Right.
That the next day I was making some like mad, like dark trap beats, right? But all glory to God. I think the next beat I made the next day when I found out I got cut, or I think the day of, I made the Dirk melody and I sent it over. Damn. And I didn't even know it at the time, but that's when I sent it.
Right.
It was the next day because I just knew that it was that fork in the road where I either like tell everybody and like blame everybody, like, oh, it's their fault,
Right.
it's murder fault, it's like the lawyer's fault, whatever,
Yeah.
right? Or it's Roddy Ricch's, why, like I could have got mad at the world, or I could be like, hey, it is what it is. Am I gonna stop now or am I gonna keep working, you know? And I really like took a long, like deep into myself, and I had to talk to God. I had to make sure, like, hey bro, like, why'd I get cut from this album? I thought this shit was gonna work out. But I was like, you know what, like, you know, I let God handle all things above me. You know, I can't change shit, so I gotta keep working. So the next day I made that, and the Dirk melody is one that I made the next day, sent it off. I didn't even know it was gonna be that. Yeah. But I just knew I had to keep working, so I just kept working after that.
And that's hella dope. Like you said, that was like the next day. You wasn't like I need to get to it. Like you said, I'm talking to myself. Okay, I got it. Now it's time to keep pushing. That's that grind that you got in you.
100%. Like I always tell people, like it's okay to be hurt for sure, but don't be stuck down there. You know, right? You got to get back to it. Right. If it ain't you, it's gonna be the next person.
Exactly. And what inspired you to believe so high in God?
Truthfully, my grandma. My grandma's been someone always around me that always used to pray. You know, pray before they eat. You know,
I do that all the time.
When I tell her, "Hey, I'm peace out," she's like, "Si Dios quiere," which is like, if it's in God's will. You know, if God wants it to be. Right. If I see her, catch you later. Right. And she always like brought up God, and I used to like I prayed like once, like in high school or something, like a couple of times, but nothing like serious till after high school. And during COVID, when everything was shut down, and I really like, what am I like, you know, missing, you know, I'm missing faith, you know, that faith is really big on me because, you know, like with like college and, you know, getting a job, there's like a step-by-step, you know, you go to college, go 4 years, get an internship, then one day it'll be a full-time job.
You get the job that you went to for college.
But like, hopefully, exactly. But like with the music, there's no step-by-step, you know, like there's no for sure, like process of getting like big in the music industry.
Right, because at a time there was a track you thought, oh man, this is the one it, and next thing you know, it's like, oh damn, I ain't on the shit no more.
Exactly. And that shit happened to me with the Hot Boy shit too. Like it happened to me many times, but the Roddy Ricch really stuck out to me. But because the next day I made the Dirk shit. Right. But the faith was something that I really like really wanted it to be in such an important factor in my life. So praying was like a really important factor in 2020 and moving on till this day, you know. But one thing that really stuck out to me is that with the faith and stuff, I was reading books on faith. I was reading a lot of books on faith. I read the Kevin Hart biography. I read Tyler Perry's Higher Is Waiting. Steve Harvey's Think Like a Success. I read The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. These are all books on faith and belief. You deep in these books. I'm reading them on the bus stop to Target, you know? I'm reading them on the bus to Target. I get to Target early because the bus only takes me like an hour early. So I get there and I'm reading the book. Because I remember my friend tried to put me on Rich Dad Poor Dad, you know? He's like, hey, this could help you in music. I was like, nah, bro. He's like, why? I'm like, the business is cool and on. That's important, you know, for sure, down the line. But I don't need to know about business right now. I need to know about faith. I need to know when to not quit. I need to know to like believe, you know? That's the biggest thing. If I don't know that, then the business shit don't even matter. Right. I got to know, I got to first like have faith. That's just going to work out. So I read those books. I read even more. The Alchemist, you know, reread it and took out all the stuff. Because a lot of people read it in high school, they don't read it, you know? Right. They kind of reading it to get through it. Not to really read it to understand it. And like you had to go back and read it again. It's like even understand it even better. Exactly. So you was on a different level even with that. Like, man, and that's another thing I love about getting people on this podcast. It really show people know who Trill Benz is, but they don't really know who you are for real. Like they didn't know all this shit before this. I mean, I'm sure there are those who do, but everybody didn't know all this shit like about you even prior. Even like based on how intelligent you really are for reals. Thank you. Like for reals. Like if you telling me this, I'm like, that's what's up. Like he really doing the homework. He really trying to invest in himself, put his best foot forward and really trying to get to this end goal. And what is the end goal for you? If you have one yet? To be honest, like so far in my career, everything that I've ever reached that was one day like an impossible goal. it was always a happy moment, a celebratory moment. But I know for a fact that every time I hit those moments, because it happened before, it's happening now, they're not like, I don't get satisfied, you know? Like that should never satisfy me, right?
Yeah.
It could be greediness, it could be wanting more, it could be hungriness, it could be anything, but I'm just not satisfied. So I'm gonna keep on going. The end goal for me truly is like one day Trill Band's the label. Like I'm gonna have a label under me. I'm gonna be a big time producer, putting my own albums together, having my own VSTs, having my own studio, having like a bunch of artists under me that I'm signing, producers I'm signing.
Right.
Big dog status, big CEO, something like that, way down the line. But as of right now, I just want to keep on grinding and get more songs and work with upcoming artists as well as like popular artists, and really try to build my brand as much as I can, just because I know that in this industry, and this is the one thing I want to tell like young producers or any producers that are coming up, that your brand's everything in this, you know, like your brand, your name, everything's attached to it. And this is what's going to take you to the next level. The music is important, 100%. You have to work on that. But apart from that, and truth be told, this business is really like 90% business, 10% music. There's no joke about that. I really try to preach this to the people, because it's 90% business is how you brand yourself. That's why I could charge this much for a beat. That's why people pay me this much for a beat. That's why I could work with these people, because my brand, you know, I've built my network so much. On top of that, my brand on Instagram and on my social medias and in person, you know, I make sure I got a nice fit. I got some chains on, you know, like to play the part to a certain degree, you know?
Right.
But I make sure that because my brand's everything, you know. If I lose my brand, I'm out the game. My brand's everything.
And what have you been doing to build that brand?
Starting off, the pictures, you know, the content is something big. So taking a picture of me in the studio, taking a picture of me making beats, posting it on my social medias. That's a major one. Showing people that I'm a producer, making an Instagram solely based on producing. So I remember doing this in high school, but I deleted all my personal stuff off like the internet, and put only music, only Trill Bands. So out there in the world, everybody only knows me as Trill Bands.
Yeah.
When I go into studio sessions, they call me Trill Bands, you know?
Yeah.
Make sure that like it's strictly business, you know, on my Instagram. That's why I tell a lot of people when they ask me like, how do I work on branding and stuff? You got to make sure you're ready for it, you know? Like when I tell people like, oh, like why can't, like when people ask me like, hey, I'm trying to work on branding, I look at their Instagram, it's their personal page, it's their family, it's their dog, it's their food, it's their graduation pic.
What are you planning on promoting?
Exactly. This is a business. And that's the one thing like I hope people don't get scared of, because with this business, you can make money.
But yeah, we was just talking about branding. And you said like most people, once they ask you about, oh, well, how to do this branding, but you go on their page and they got fucking pictures of all this shit outside of what they're trying to brand.
It's the thing that the difference between this music industry and any other industry is that the brand is a living human being and not a building or a single logo. You know, that's the main difference. You know, a Starbucks, the way of branding a Starbucks is make sure green and brown is their palette. You know, everything's polished the same way as any other Starbucks. You know, the cups are a Starbucks logo on top of it. You know, that's a brand, you know. But the thing about this industry is the brand is the living human being. You know? Lil Durk, he's a living brand. We pay mad money for a ticket to see him.
To go see him.
Not to see his friends, not to see the opener, no, for him.
Right.
You know? So the idea is that you got to promote yourself as the brand, and you are the brand, the business, you're everything. You know, when a artist or a producer makes LLC, it's under their name.
Right.
You know, the like Lil Durk LLC, OTF LLC, you know, it's a living business. So I really just try to preach to people with the branding that it's a key part into this music stuff. I don't want to scare people off by telling them about the branding, because they'd be like, oh, I'm not ready for that or stuff like that. And
I don't even feel like you scaring them off. You should more so, and even for those who are being like scared off, more so preparing you for what's to come. Because it's like, you need to know this shit if you're really trying to do something. Like if you like, you know, you just fucking around, whatever, then, you know, throw this part away. But if you really trying to get into some shit, like this is a game you really got to soak up.
It's everything. It's everything. That's one thing I realized, you know, the difference between my beat and anybody else's in San Diego. And no other person can ever make a beat like me. Why? Because I'm Trill Bands. There will never be another Trill Bands. I'm the only one. No one can, they could try in a million years, but they can never make a Trill Bands beat. Why? Because they're just not me.
Right.
So that's gold. That's everything, you know?
Yeah.
And the name goes with it. You know, you got to find a solid name and stuff. I'm proud to say I'm Trill Bands, you know? Trill Bands. Like, that's my name. That's everything to me. So, nowadays, like, I only get called Trill. I don't even get called my real name type shit. That's who I am.
Because of the marketing that you've done, that they know you so heavy as that. And what even brought the name Trill Bands?
Funny as shit. It was like sophomore year, right before like right after I quit soccer and right before I started making music, I was going through like my first breakup, first breakup in high school. And my friend was like, hey, we should, let's drink. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. I've never taken a sip of alcohol, but I was like, fuck it, I'm heartbroken.
Yeah, he's like, fuck it.
I'm
feeling this shit now. I was like, this my baby.
And we were like drinking, me and my friend, on top of this middle school, right? We were just chilling by because that's like good homie of mine. Shout out Adrian. And it's just one of those things where we were talking about music and we are like, bro, let's start making music. Fuck it, And that's like the first person like, let's like make music. But he's like, oh shit, we need names. And his name's Adrian, so he's gonna go by Lil Adrian or something like that. He was gonna figure out his name. Me, I was like, I'm trying to find a name that sticks, I'm trying to find a name.
Yeah.
Like the dude, him, like the name. So I had no idea. So I just went on SoundCloud and I just looked at my liked songs and I wanted like a solid name. So I just thought of this idea of combining two names together. So my liked songs, it was Trill Sammy and Young Bands. So I took the Trill and I took the bands and I put it together. And then I got Trill Bands.
And that was that night you was out there drinking with the homie just on the top of the middle school and shit.
And I told him that I was like, Trill Bands, that's gonna be my name. And he was like, whoa, I fuck with that. That shit hard. But the super ironic thing is like, he was like, bro, that's a producer name. And we were gonna rap at the time. So I was like, nah, that's a rapper name for sure.
Oh damn.
And he's like, nah, it's a producer name. I was like, fuck it, we'll see.
and I wouldn't even think of it to separate if that's a producer name or rapping like I would think like they could go for either or, whatever like you branding yourself to be.
It's funny because then I molded myself into producer and that's how
we are now. That's fucking like the story, even the books that you was touching on. What drove you to get so deep in the books?
Reading was something I never like really liked. But when I really wanted to learn about faith, more than just a YouTube video that can teach me, or more than like church can teach me or anything like that. I didn't go to church as often. I still don't go out often, or to be honest, not at all. But I still like try my best to learn more scriptures and stuff like that. Yeah. But reading, like I just went to Barnes and Nobles that was right next to the Target that I worked at. So on my lunch break, I went to Barnes and Nobles and I just started looking at books. And I heard Steve Harvey talk about The Power of Positive Thinking. So that's the first book about The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale, which is very heavy on like faith and positivity, but it brings up a lot of scriptures. And that's like a book that got me into the rest. But like before that was like The Alchemist. And but then I got into more like Steve Harvey and Tyler Perry just because I used to watch the Medea movies growing up. Yeah. Like every single one. Medea goes to jail, Medea's family reunion, and Medea always preaches about faith. But then I really looked into Tyler Perry and his story. And he preaches about faith so much that
heavy. I
had to read a book. I had to pick up the book. I had to see how did this dude come from the slums of I think Georgia. Yeah, he'll be Atlanta. Into billionaire with a billionaire like industry. Like
how he got that whole studio out there,
the whole
on
28 acres.
That's crazy because like people like say that's unheard of. But like you said, faith. And he's super big on that. So that was something also that he was super big on, and look at him now. Crazy. I was always thinking like now, this is like, where would you say you are in your career as a producer?
I'm still coming up. I'm still coming up for sure. I'm still an upcoming producer that's just trying to make a name for himself. That's the way I see myself. And to the day I win a Grammy or I'm Diamond or something like that, I'm gonna still see myself that way. I'm an upcoming producer. Yeah. Just coming up in the game, trying his best.
And out here that now, are people catching on now out here in San Diego that you really doing your shit?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's through like the marketing I do, like the Instagram posts, as well as the shout outs that I get from hip hop blogs, as well as Daygo TV shouting me out, That's where really like, I went to a party one time and they're like, hey bro, aren't you that dude from Daygo TV? I was like, oh shit, it's working,
Oh shit, okay, all right. Yeah, that's me.
That's me. And I got my little chain on, stuff like that. So it's all with the marketing and everything that I make sure that I'm known in the city to a certain degree because I really wasn't working with the city at all. I started off making like very melodic beats and like Juice WRLD, Lil Peep, sad, emotional beats. And that's the beats I start off with. And I tried to send out to some rappers out here, but no one gave me a chance. And the producer also wanted to work with me out here. I tried to tap in with a couple, but no one gave me, an opportunity. So like I said before, I take a lot of shit personal. So I really told myself, I was like, all right, if no one wants to work with me out here, I'm gonna work with other people. This is a big ass world, Right. So I found Hot Boy. My homie put me on Hot Boy. I started working with Hot Boy, and that was like, I was still low key in the city, but some people heard of me. And then I remember there was this like top 8 producers list of San Diego, right? I don't know who posted it, but somebody posted it and I wasn't on that list. And I took that personal. I was like, fuck, like I didn't even crack top 8, but it's just because they don't know that I'm from here. So I started making sure that like I don't wear random fitted hats. I wear a San Diego fitted hat, you know?
Yeah.
For the marketing and everything. So like I post a picture with an SD fitted hat, you know, I'm from SD.
Like they know if you're wearing San Diego, more than likely you from San Diego.
So I just make sure that then I started marketing myself and networking more in the city. And that's where I met Marvin Beats. And here we are at Wavy Sound Studios that I work as an engineer as well.
And now looking back, how you see how many people wasn't fucking with you. And now they are. Like you said, you take shit personal. Those people who wasn't fucking with you that came back around now, would you fuck with them now?
No.
This shit is like, no, they wasn't fucking with me then, don't fuck with me now.
And the reason why is I was talking to Marvin about this because like me and Marvin were really close. We were talking about this, but it's the idea that truth be told, I just am confident in the path that I'm on, you know?
Right.
And working with people I'm working with. The tunnel vision, you know? And working with the people I'm working with now, the producers I met online that I've met in person as well as the artists that I met in person and working online as well. And my network is working on my network every day, right? And I'm still upcoming. And the people that weren't fucking with me now, as much as their music could be fire that I just haven't checked out or anything like that, I'm already locked in.
Yeah.
It's too late.
Right.
To work with me to a certain degree. If I meet you in person and like I hear your music, then that's fire, and then we could work on something, you know, for sure. But and then the other main thing on top of that is like everybody to a certain degree, like when they decide to make music out here in San Diego, they go towards the West Coast scene. And if I'm being honest, I'm not a huge fan of the sound, you know. I never made it. I still don't make it.
Right.
I barely could make a West Coast beat, like, so I don't even like try to, and I don't even bother to at this point because. If I don't like to make something, why would I make it, you know?
Right.
And people tell me, oh, you should try to make one or something. I'm like, nah, like,
that's not what I'm on.
That's not what I'm on. That's not the timing I'm on. And like, the one thing I'm happy about this brand and everything to me is that I could do whatever the fuck I want because it's like my career. No one could try. People would tell me things, tell me stuff, but I didn't get to where I'm at listening to people.
Right.
I had to like listen to myself first and trust my gut.
That faith. That's fucking what's up right there. Shit. And like you just now said, you wasn't like now looking back for them people checking for you. Oh, and try to make this. What would you even, I guess, classify your beats as? I
try to make melodic beats a lot because I'm an emotional person. You know, like if I'm really happy, I'm happy. I'm really happy. You know, if I'm sad, I'm really sad. I'm an emotional person like that. So I really like putting my emotions on the beats, on the track for sure. So like a lot of the melodic songs that I have out, like those are really like, you know, pieces of me, you know? So I really try to say melodic, and I really don't like, I'm not going to like sit here and say like I have my own sound at all. But the only thing I can say is I have my own approach to beats just because I am who I am. You know, I'm Trill Bands. You know, I have my own little approach to it.
Definitely.
That's the only thing I could really say, you know? Like I think I approach beats different from other people just because I'm me. So that's the only thing I could really say that like that's about me. But besides that, I really try to focus on the brand. So, you know, I could tax someone for a beat because I'm Trill Bands. Right. You know, stuff like that. But for the beats and stuff, for like the actual music components, like I'll say emotional for sure. I try to always add a melodic, even if it's a dark beat, I try to add an emotional part to it just so it's still a part of me, you know? Yeah.
So like you said, when it always comes down to music, do you ever work with artists that you don't actually fuck with? And you know, you ain't got a name drop or nothing like that.
I try not to. I try not to for sure. But if they're willing to spend the money on the bread, you know, I'm not gonna knock it. You know, I'll sell you the beat.
Right, because like you said, at the end of the day, this is a business, and if you like my product,
you can buy it. You can buy it. 100%. But I always try to like work with people I like to work with, and to be honest, so far I've always like songs that come out are people that I like to work with. You know, the people that I have relationships with, and there's songs that are coming out that you know I'm excited for, and songs that came out before are songs that I look back and I'm like, this is a cool track. This is a dope track.
With you looking back, I know you made tons of beats and tracks. Is there any of them that was stuck with you that's your favorite?
For sure, Hot Boy They Don't Know. That's one like that beat I really liked. That was a beat like I really liked, but I wanted the right person to get on it. And I sent it to Hot Boy and he made a beat. He made a song to it and he dropped it. And It went viral, and I still get props to this day. Like,
and money, shit.
And money.
Yeah.
But to me, like, the money ain't even, like, it's cool for a show, but like I'm not gonna say like the music is like important to me. It is, but like that reception I get off the music is like
sort of love.
The love. Like when someone tells me, "Hey, bro, the Hot Boy shit got me through high school," that like hits me some type of way. You know, I got that TikTok comment like it is like, "Hey, bro, like all your Hot Boy shit, bro. Like Trill, where the fuck you at?" was all over my playlist in high school, bro. When I was listening to Hot Boy. And that shit like hits me some type of way, like damn, bro, because I listen to music.
Change somebody's life.
Just because I
help somebody get through some shit.
That's because I made this beat. You know, that's something that really affects me. You know,
yeah.
The reception. You know, that's something that like, you can say validation or some shit, but like the love is like bigger than anything. You know, bigger than the money for sure. Because if I wanted to make money, bro, like I'll do real estate. I'll do something else.
You can make money doing tons of different shit. But now you making money and getting the love that you're looking for through the music that you've been producing.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah. So shit, now with that, I always like to end it on, you know, just let people know the podcast that you was on.
We're at the BiGG Umbrella Podcast with Trill Bands, Platinum Billboard number producer in the cut. Born and raised in San Diego, California. I produced for Lil Durk, Young Thug, Hot Boy, Babyface Ray, YNW Portland, YNWB Slime, Slatsy, and more on the way. You already know.
That was a fucking perfect way to end that shit. This has been another episode of the BiGG Umbrella Podcast. That's big with 2 G's, and it's a wrap. That was perfect, bro.
Thank you.
Well, let's get some tacos, nigga. Can we really get some tacos? You trying to get some tacos? Let's get some tacos, nigga.